Did you talk to Dr. Himabindu, Anita Garu?
Yes, sir.
She joining?
Yes, sir. She said she will join. Shall I call her? One second.
No, I already called. She is busy in some other phone.
Okay. Why don't we begin, sir? It's 6 o'clock.
Good evening.
Bindu madam is here.
Good evening, Krishnamurti Bhaiya, Anita. Good evening, you.
Good evening, Chairman Ji.
Hello, Krishna.
Hi. Sorry, I missed your call, but then I was rushing. I knew that 6 o'clock I had confirmed with Anita. Hi, how are you, Dr. Navnihal?
Hello. Good.
Good, huh? So good initiative. I really should appreciate that.
Thank you. It's already 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So shall we just do the introductory method? So
Yeah. I think
good
you
evening.
can start. You can start, Krishnamurti, because time is limited.
Good evening, respected All India Chairman of AHA, Dr. Himabindu Singh Madam, and Dr. Nanihal Singh Ji, and the coordinator of the group, Dr. Anita Garu, and all executive members who are going to join and already joined also. And the
Not
participants
getting
also,
your voice,
warm welcome to
Krishnamurti.
you. You're not getting it now?
It's audible, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
I think so. So actually, this topic is a need of the hour. But today only I saw in the newspaper, there are so many things related to this particular topic, that examination phobia and stress and all. Even the younger kids are doing so many funny things. Sometimes they are doing harassing themselves with the physically.
Not audible,
also.
sir.
Sir? Not audible?
It is audible, sir. If others mute, probably will hear better.
They have to increase the volume in their system, I think.
Yeah.
Even I'm not getting it.
It's a maximum now.
I check up with other people also. Is everybody able to hear?
Are you able to hear?
Yes.
No, sir.
No.
Your voice is, you are audible.
Yes. There are many yes, probably from other end.
Sure. So we thought to start our programs in 2025 with this a good topic.
Go ahead, Krishnamurti.
Sir? Is it clear, Dr. Nanihal Singh? I think Nanihal Singh is not able to hear my voice. So we today selected the topic of this study smart and beat the exams blue. So that's only that. So today we are having a very expert speakers, eminent speakers, you can say. The senior most Dr. Nanihal Singh is adolescent expert.
Sir, not audible,
And
sir.
having a director of Tanvir Hospital. Sir? Sir, ये तो maximum है sir मेरा.
Only few are not able to hear. Please check your audio device, or maybe you have logged into the YouTube link. Try to log into the Zoom link.
Got it from Zoom only.
On Zoom link, ma'am.
Zoom link only.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll again go out and come log in again.
Yeah, please do that. So we selected these topics.
Resign ayina avutundi madam. Sir ni resign avvamanandi.
Sir? Bindu madam, can you able to hear?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please continue. Okay.
Sir. So today we are having the very senior doctor, Dr. Nanihal Singh, the adolescent health expert and the director of Tanvir Hospital. Another good speaker, Dr. B. Anita. She is an adolescent health expert and developmental pediatrician, runs the Evolution CDC Center in our own city, Attapur area. So she is always enthusiastic to do the messages to, and she did so many programs. So before starting our program, I request our national chairperson, Dr. Himabindu Singh Madam, just to say the few words and we will start the program. Over to Dr.
Thank you.
Himabindu Singh,
Thank you.
chairperson.
Thank you, Krishnamurthy Bhaiya. I call him Bhai. So he's the president of AHAT, that is Adolescent Health Academy of Telangana, and our secretary, Dr. Navniyal Singh, secretary of the Adolescent Health Academy Telangana, Dr. Ravi Kumar, treasurer, and all the EB members of our state Telangana AHA, and Dr. Anita, of course, who I think is coordinating all the scientific activities as a coordinator, along with Suchitra, and all the delegates and parents and students have logged in today. As a chairperson of the National Adolescent Health Academy, I feel really proud to see my own state. I'm from Hyderabad. My own state, HUT, that is Adolescent Health Academy Telangana, is doing great work. And they have initiated, though it is a new chapter, just formed a few months back, they have taken up the initiative to reach out to the public who matter. That is the parents and the students. So this is very, very unique, idea to reach out to the beneficiaries. And this AHA should do such work, and a lot of field work is expected as we given guidelines for all over the country. And we are at the state national level rolled out.
Madam, please unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yeah, I was saying that Central AHA is also very vibrant, being the 25th year Silver Jubilee year. This year, very unique action plans are being rolling out, and we expect and request all the state chapters to roll out these programs. Very unique programs like the Wealth Youth Initiative, the Youth Wellness Empower You program, which is based on empowering youth on sexual wellness, digital wellness, mental and metabolic wellness, along with road safety and vaccination. So this will cascade down all the cities, and it will also be the responsibility of state chapter to cascade this program in all the cities in Andhra and Telangana. At the same time, we also came out with Wave 18, where the youth themselves are coming forward. 18th of every month, which we name it as Youth Wellness Day. So they will be rolling out unique programs in a campaign mode. So we have a lot of programs. Parenting section is also we are planning, and youth interaction on our website of AHA. So I request the state chapter to expand its membership by a membership drive, and really do a lot of, for parents and for students, and capacity building. And the theme given for the Telangana chapter is sexual wellness. So request all the EB members and the executive board to conduct activities around this theme. Anyway, all the best. And this is a very good start. All the best. And we should also consider doing a central zone adults con. So let us get something like, there's a Silver Jubilee conclave or something. Let's plan in future. All the best to the speakers today and the AHAT, Adolescent Health Academy Telangana. Thank you for inviting me.
Unmute, sir. Krishnamurthy sir, please unmute yourself.
So thank you very much, sir. We'll follow, and we promise that every month we are promising doing one program, either physical or virtually. So let us not waste much time. Yeah. So I hand over the mic to our expert speaker, Dr. Navniyal Singh Sarji.
Thank you, Krishnamurthy. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Clear, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hema Bindu, Dr. Krishnamurthy, and Dr. Anita, who has been taking a lot of trouble to organize this program. Yes, examination times are very crucial times, and this is the time where most of the schools are going through the examinations. It is not the exam for the students only. Actually, the parents are also quite tense during this period, where they will also be spending a good amount of time with the children, and they will be having a lot of support system, and at the same time there will be a lot of discussions with the parents and students. Today we are going to discuss how to overcome this exam stress and how to take care of proper studying and all, and present into the exam without much of stress. Definitely there will be a stress, there is no doubt about that, but we are trying to just see that how much we can help out, and how parents can also be helpful in this endeavor. Yeah. Okay, Anita, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. So, as you have discussed, the main problem of stress is because of the few key things, like one is the student is not prepared enough. Student is not following effective study methods. And the parents' expectations are too high. There is a performance pressure, and the board exams are always hyped. And there is also societal pressure. What if he fails? So these are the things which should be addressed, should also be addressed as a part of parenting to reduce the stress. So we'll discuss all the aspects today, from the studying skills, effective study methods, the memorization techniques, and what are all the other factors which are going to impact the child's performance before the exam, plan before the exam, during the exam, what to do, post the exam, what to do, and how parents should support their students. We'll walk through everything in a sequential manner. Okay, Nisa?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yes, go ahead. Start.
So, first of all, before studying the effective study techniques, we need to know the neuroscience and psychology of memory and learning processes. So, what is memory? So, if we need, what do we learn? First, we have to learn some aspects, then we have to uh, put that in the memory, and then there should be effective retrieval of whatever information we have put it in the memory. So what do you call whatever information we are getting through our senses, that is put in. That is called encoding. So we keep there. That is storing the information. So whenever we want them, we have to retrieve it. That is called retrieval, getting it out from the storage. It's almost like a computer system. We enter the data, keep it in the storage, and whenever we want, we should be able to access it. Okay. This is the information processing model, which is the most popular model, where they say that we have two memory styles. One is a short-term memory and the long-term memory. Short-term memory is whatever information we are at that moment we are receiving from all the sensory systems, whether it is by the vision, audition, or by action, whatever it is. Our brain is processing that and keep it in the brain for a short period of time. It is said that the short-term memory is only for a few seconds. It's about 20 to 30 seconds only. But this memory will go into the long-term memory if we feel that that is important. And if we repeat it, recite it, and revise it. Okay, only the long-term memory is accessible for our retrieval. Long-term memory is almost, we say it is almost permanent. But even the permanent long-term, whatever the information which is there in the permanent long-term memory also should be accessible. So when will it be accessible? Only if it is there and we revise it and recite it repeatedly. Even the long-term memory may be lost. There is something called a use and disuse theory. If there is some memory, maybe we have read a lesson or there was an incident which happened in our life. Sometimes there are some triggers which will revive those memories. So that will keep that in the long-term memory. For example, if we are not about bothered about that information, we never use that information in any part of our life or in the studies, then that goes into a dormant phase and it is finally faded out. This is what we call it as use and disuse theory. But there are many aspects of why we forget. That could be because of initial part, encoding part. So when the information is entering our brain, this is the program of encoding. So when there is encoding fault, we tend to forget it. That is, we may listen to that, we may hear that sounds, or we may see that visual information, but the brain is unable to encode it. Hence, it doesn't enter into our memory. That is, when this happens, when we are not paying attention to what is being taught to us. So suppose we are sitting in the class, but we are not being attentive. Whatever the speaker is saying, we are able to hear, but we are not actively listening to that. Then this doesn't go into the long-term memory. Then there is something called memory trace decay. This is what I have mentioned, use and disuse. Then there is interference. when there is an old information and on the overlap, there is a new information. Sometimes there might be a conflict between the old and the new information, which are contrasting, which has lots of differences. Then there will be clash and few of the things may fade out of the memory. For example, this happens when we have a driving talent, right? So in India, we drive sitting on the right side, but abroad in many countries they drive on the left side. So when we used to driving in the right seat, when we go there and try to drive from the left seat, there will be a little bit of confusion. There is overlap of the old knowledge and the new knowledge. Similarly, when we change phones whose functionality are totally different, there may be a confusing factors. So the old memory has to fade out to give way to the new memories. So in that process, there may be clashes. So we come to the effective study techniques. So what works for us?
ఏది వీడు భలే మెల్గేన్ అనేది లోషన్ మెల్లటోనిన్ ఇది ఇట్లా
Could
పెట్టుకొని
you please mute yourself?
ప్యాచెట్స్ అనేది వైట్ ఉన్నాయి.
Please, everybody mute yourself.
Yes. So when we have this basic knowledge about learning process and memory, so what is needed? What is needed is effective study strategies. We have to be attentive in the class. Then we have to follow certain methods to study. The first and the famous method is SQ3R. Okay. In SQ3R, the S, Q, and 3 R's are there. Survey, question, read, recite, recall. Okay. With all these techniques, this technique works for everyone, for all the ages. Survey means whenever we have a textbook or some reading material with us, we first survey on the whole. We read the first introduction part, all the headlines, then conclusion part, and leave it there. Then the Q. Q means questioning. Questioning. There is a topic. This is the how is malaria caused? Okay, this is the topic. So you have to question it. Okay, how is malaria caused? So what will be in this lesson? So there might be the life cycle of mosquito, how the mosquito breeds, what are the different types of mosquito, and how is the malaria caused, what could be the treatment of malaria, what could be the complications of the disease. So that you have to question before you enter into the content. So that completes Q. Then comes read. So while reading, you have to read each and every line with interest, and that is called active learning. So you have to decode each and every word and read between the lines also. Okay. Then comes another R, which is recite. Okay, then you have whatever you have read, you have to recite in your own words. This goes on auditory memory. You have to go on repeating. You have read a passage, then put your hand on the book or close the book and repeat to yourself whatever you have learned in your own words. Then we have to review or recall. This is also similar after finishing the whole chapter. The previous one was for every paragraph or a short content. Then you finish the whole chapter or the whole thing about the whole session. Then you again recall whatever you have learned. Then the last one, they have added a 4th R also, which is called reflect. Reflection is thinking about the content critically. You have to compare, connect, and think about the applications. So whatever knowledge you have gained, you have to think where at all it is applicable. You can use this for the formulas of physics or mathematics also. You have a formula. You can think where it, at whatever context that formula is going to be applied. This is the 4th R, which is called reflect. Okay, so reading is not just reading. You have to be an active learner. So that is the concept of it. So would you like to add something?
Yeah, very beautifully explained, Dr. Anita. So now when the exams comes, The only thing that most of the children, who have this examination fear, they tend to forget things, So now what you have very rightly mentioned is you have to properly read the subject. Then after reading the subject, you have to understand the subject. Then after understanding, then you have to try to keep it in the memory and revise it whenever you get an opportunity to keep revising the subject. Then recite it. The best way for doing the recitation is you just try to tell it to your parents or your friends or your somebody else, so that that get fixed to your memory cells, and then that becomes a permanent this thing in your brain. Then, and moreover, you are also confident. Yes, what I have read, I am able to represent and revise. So read, revise, recite, and then if suppose one gets time, they can also write on that also. So write makes it permanent. But the thing is, our brain, God has given us a brain where we tend to forget it over a period of time. The forgetfulness is the beauty which God has given it to us. So there has to be a repeated reminders for that, so that that becomes fixed up to our memory cells. And whenever you read that, then again you get back the memory, and then again you will be able to represent it. So now, as we had been telling, examination itself causes stress. The stresses are a number of stresses, like stress of failure is most important. Whether I will pass or not, how would I do my exam, what will my parents think. Then the competitive spirit will be there. Sometimes children, they are very active and they will be played to the last minute, and they are very intelligent, and they think, okay, I can finish it off in the last minute. So then last minute the subjects are very wide. That time they will not be able to complete the subjects. Then the time constraint will be there. Then the stress starts getting increased. Then they get nervous. Then they start forgetting things. So try to see that you prepare yourself. Try to see you don't get unnecessary distracted, and spend good amount of time and properly understanding the subject. That is very, very important. The message which we want to give to the adolescent and the children and the parents also. Parents should not give too much of pressure on the children, because in this competitive world, every mother or father wants their child to come first in the class. Then they will be having very high expectation. I would not say any child is dull. All the brains are same. It is only how you are presenting, how you are reading, how you are reciting, how you are representing, that matters at the end of the day. So this is what Dr. Anita also has explained about the memory and how it goes into the memory.
Yeah, I will add a few more things, sir. We have a study styles also. So there are what we call, according to psychology and neuroscience, we have 4 types of learners. One is a visual learner, verbal learner, auditory learner, and action learners. So verbal means obviously they learn out of words. So they learn when they speak themselves or they write themselves. So reading and writing in their own words. So whatever they learned, they have to jot down the notes and read it to themselves. They can stand in front of the mirror and read it to themselves, prepare a notes. This is the verbal learner. Then comes the visual learner. These children learn through lots of pictures and images. So whatever they have learned, they can represent it, that the same thing in the form of images or pictures, or what we call the mind maps, lots of diagrams. So there will already be diagrams in their textbooks regarding the content they are reading. So you can add on to the diagrams whatever information is there in the text form. So in that way, they will remember better. These are the visual learners. Then comes the auditory learner. These children grasp more just by listening to the lecturers or teachers. So for them, what is recommended is, if possible, they can record the lectures for the older kids, and or else they can even read out those lessons, record that, and keep on listening to that. So in that way, there will be lots of repetition and revisions, and that will be an effective learning method for them. Then the last one is the action, where they have to create this thing. They can create the 3D models. They can use their own imagination. So suppose if there is a story, they can close their eyes and imagine the whole scenario. So in that way, they remember it better. So there can be 2 or more predominant learning capabilities. You have to discover your style of learning and then go accordingly. For everything, you can other things like you can use flashcards, mnemonics. Then in flashcards, you can write the question on one side and answer on the other side. So after lots of repetition, you can see the question and you try to recollect the answer and then flip it around and check if your answer is right or not. So when there are visual learners, the same flashcard concept, you write the question on one side, on the back end of it, you write a dramatic figure on that. So instead of words, there should be a figurative representation, figurative in the form of drawings or mind maps. So that they learn by visualizing it and memorizing it. So then we have, when you teach someone, you're going to learn it better. Then what we have, the group studies. Some people like the auditory listener and the action listener. So when they are in the group, somebody will be reading, that this child will be listening to them. So that way their auditory skill is more effective. So they will be learning more. So you have to see what works with it. But if you go to a group study, you have to make sure that the group is also in the same page, not that the other kids who might be distracting you or who might be discouraging you. They should be at least at your child's level or maybe a level higher in their academic performance. So in that way, it should be beneficial to both of them.
Can I add something on this, Anita, on the group study?
Yes, sir.
As
Yes.
you see, the thing is, we have just mentioned about the visual learners and auditory learners and all, because the example with the blind and the hearing defect people, they just look at your lips and then they catch up the things. So that is the senses that they develop out of it. Similarly, yes, with the hearing people, they normally they just look at the visuals and then the memory cells pick it up and then they will be able to represent it also. Absolutely. And as far as the group learning is concerned, this is for the parents and the students also. This I'll give you my practical example, because whenever you are going in for the group learnings, when the time is less, what you should do is each one of you try to tell one subject, take one small subject or the topic and then represent others. Others should revise it again or represent it. Similarly, you can cover a lot of topics in that in lesser time, because what you hear from somebody is much more receptive than what you try to learn and understand. But that cannot be for the overall studies. It can be just for the short term, and on the other times, like you're going for a tea or in the breaks and all, you can do that sort of activity.
So how well should we be prepared for the exams? As this is almost February has come to an end and March is approaching, and this is not the time where we discuss on how to start your academic career to build up your studies. So the exams are approaching fast. So how do you plan when the time is small and you have to cover a lot? You can't procrastinate, leave everything to the day before the exam. You see, you have a big pizza. You can't gobble up everything at one time. You have to cut it into pieces and eat. Okay. And then you have to be prepared for the exams, because many a time life throws lots of challenges to you. Anything may happen. So recently there is a Guillain-Barré syndrome outbreak, and one of the kid who's appearing for the board exam has GBS, has been diagnosed with GBS. He's admitted in hospital. So what if just before the exam, you have a situation like this? When you are sick, you're not going to put 100% of your efforts, even though you are very intelligent. Okay, that is why you have to be prepared in advance for the examination. There should be enough revisions, and the day before the exam, it should be only brushing up only the key points and probably the formulas, etc. You have to read the headings and the key points only, but not the entire content. So you have to plan.
You have to memorize, mostly.
Yes.
Memorize on that day, yeah. But a lot of time, this thing, Anita, a lot of parents, they come and ask, sir, is it good to get up early morning and study, or is it good to study in the night? Because some of the children, they have a habit of studying late in the night. They have a cup of coffee and then they pull on till 11, 12, 1, 2 and all. But my experience, what I always feel is, it's always better. Morning time is very good, because the brain is alert, it is very receptive, and you have after a good sleep, you're fresh. Whatever you read, you can grasp in a better fashion. You can have a better focus. Surroundings will be, you don't have any disturbance around the surroundings. Better understanding will be there. Retention will be good. And environment will be quiet in the mornings. So early morning study. But here we keep the choice open for the students, whoever have got certain habits. Suppose if they are late study habit, so they can continue. But I would not suggest not to have a proper sleep in the night, say study till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then have just 2 hours sleep and go for the exam. Because whenever you are preparing for the exam, you need a very good sleep to recollect what you have studied in the beginning also. You just can't have about 2 hours sleep and then go for the exam. You will be tired for the whole day. Then there will be a lot of disturbances. There will be a lot of distractions in the evening times. So it is better you try to see that, orient yourself, whatever is best suiting for you. But end of the day, one should definitely try to see that they catch up with the sleep, which is very important to remember what you have studied in the previous, because our old memory also gets reactivated whenever you try. If you are tired, you're lethargic, you have not taken good sleep, you have not taken good food, then you will not be able to remember. You will be feeling tired and hypoglycemic also in that time. That's a very important point which the children and the parents also have to understand and support them on this aspect.
So, sir, how many hours of sleep do you recommend?
Yeah, I would definitely say 6 to 8 hours to normally we recommend, but during examination, at least they should catch up with 6 to 8 hours of sleep, because many of the times children feel if suppose I sleep for a long time, I will not be able to do well. Or the parents also feel, "Arey, itna sote rehta hai tu," and then how can you go and give the examination? I can assure you, if you have a proper and a good sleep, and if you are prepared properly in the beginning only, last day exam is not for studying. Last few days are always for remembering, recollecting, revising. That to only just look at the headlines and try to revise in your mind. Whatever you're not getting, just look into that in detail. You are not going to study the chapters on the last day. So the proper planning has to be there, and you should revise it properly. Minimum 6 hours you should take it. And another important, most of the times, children, in a hurry, they don't want to eat and go. They skip the breakfast, they don't eat proper food and go. No, don't have biryanis and all a previous night, or have a heavy diet just before the examination. It should be a simple diet. More of water should be taken. Fresh fruits and all, vegetables and all will definitely help them have a proper health at that time too. Isn't it? What do you say, Anita?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So, light means, frequent means lots of fruits and vegetables and
Yes.
lots of water.
And in between a little bit of physical activities also, and physical exercise also, because that will again recharge you.
There is one technique which is called the Pomodoro technique, where you recommendation is like you study for 25 minutes, give a break of 5 minutes, and again 25 minutes and give a break of 5 minutes. And this repetitions can be done for 3 to 4 times. And then there should be a longer break of about 30 minutes. So if at all our attention span is anything between 25 to 45 minutes only, after that your brain needs a break to process all the information what you have studied until that time period. So for that, you definitely need a break. So 25 minutes, they say, is ideal according to the Pomodoro technique. But at that moment, for 25 minutes, if you are very much in the mood of studying and you are about to complete that chapter, you can extend it up to 45 minutes and then take a break.
Yes,
so, but
yes.
the break is essential. A 5 minutes or to 10 minutes break is essential. During that period, you get up from your sitting posture, take a walk, stretch your body, move all your joints, blink and look away. The eye exercises have to be done. So these are very important to refresh your brain.
Have some water, munch something.
Yeah, yes. You can go out and talk to your family members and take some fresh air and come back.
But break should not be a longer one, so that you get distracted. It should be a very, very short break. This is for the parents and the children also.
Yeah, what happens is many a times parents see their children coming out and just shout at them, what are you doing outside? Go inside and study. So
Yeah.
parents also need to understand that they need a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Anita, another problem which I normally come across with these things, they feel they read properly, they learn, but they forget it. So for this, what I normally suggest is they should have a proper attention, proper motivation, then their emotional state when they are studying. What is their state? How is their health? Suppose somebody is feeling very tired and lethargic and start a new subject and try to read that. No, that's not the time to do that. So you have to be fresh, and your stress levels also should be less. Your quality of sleep is very important. The environment in which you are sitting and all is also. People say, okay, bazu mein shadi bhi ho rahi hai, so you should read. Yes, agree, but that attention span will not be a long. In the olden days, if you remember, we used to have a study room separately where only books and all will be there. Nobody used to enter. If they have to come, they even not even knock the door, slowly check whether they are doing it or not. So study room pattern is also very important. And whatever you're reading, it all depends on the prior knowledge, what you have studied on that subject. That will take you forward. If you are studying it for the first time during on the day of the examination, it is not this thing at all, not advisable at all. So one has to have a motivation, prior knowledge, good sleep, good environment, and the topics what you are listening. It should be interesting also. You read the interesting topic and hard topics early in the morning when you are fresh in the mind. This is also an important point for the children and the parents also.
So to sum up, it's like you should have a separate area or place where you read.
Yes.
It should be well ventilated, well lit
Correct.
with good lighting, no
Yes.
distractions, no
Yes.
screens around, no
No,
mobiles
no
around,
TV, no
and
mobiles.
other people should not be disturbing them. It should
Correct.
be a quiet corner. So most of the families have these facilities at home right now. If at all they are not there, even then you can create your own space.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
go to the terrace, you can go to the backyard and set up your own place where it is calm and there is no disturbance. So where there is a will, there will always be a way.
Yes, yes, yes. No, in the olden days, what we used to have is there used to be a study room, there used to be a sleeping room, there used to be a puja room. So it was dedicated like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
even
another important thing is one should have a strategic plan, and you should schedule yourself. That is very important. What you want to study, how you want to study, proper planning has to be there, proper focus has to be there. Then you should have a proper resources on that subject also. There should be a what you are studying, why you are studying, what you are anticipating, which question is going to come, what are your mission, what are your goals. So these things also the parents should be facilitating the children. Okay, these are the things which you try to concentrate and try to study. Like suppose if study doesn't mean only the examination part of it. During the examination, concentrate on your subject. On the other times, you can concentrate on the other aspects also. Don't try to read the newspaper or the general knowledge during the examination period. So you should know the goal, vision, and mission also.
yes, so we need an effective time management.
Effective time.
There
Yeah.
should not be any procrastination. We have
Yes.
to chart out how many days are left for exam. So how many days are you allotting to each subjects?
And
So you
program yourself.
program yourself, and whichever is an easy subject, allot less days for that. Whichever you feel is a tougher subject, you allot more days for that, and try to complete your targets in time, and give a buffer day also. So
Yeah.
in if at all there could be something which will hit our plans.
Correct.
Okay, maybe there might be sudden guests at home. There might be an emergency where you need to stop your study and go somewhere. So there might be many hindrances. So you should provide a buffer time also to overcome these things. Then every day before going to bed, plan for the next day. And at the end of the day, you check whether you have completed all your targets or not. And if there are big targets, like you have a lot of portion unread in one subject, you can break it into smaller targets and disperse it over the longer across the week, so that you won't get bored of it.
Yes.
If some part is boring for you or tough for you, for example, physics may be tough for many people. For some people, social studies is very boring. So you can disperse it and mix and match with the interesting subject. So you read one easy subject and one interesting subject and one boring subject on the same day. And then you can divide the task and distribute over the whatever days are left before the exams. But you have to complete it.
Yes, and more so, difficult subjects try to interact, try to revise, try to tell it out, because that is the way where you are going to make it easy also.
Yes.
And
also the previous papers, question papers play a very large role.
Yes.
Practice. When you see the previous papers, you know the pattern. So first thing what we have to know is how many marks are allotted to each chapter. And what are how many essay questions are there, how many short questions are there, how many objectives are there. So those you get an idea, and how much time is allotted, so that you know how to divide the time. Okay, so if you write a few exam papers, sticking on to the time, you know how much time you should give to each question and answer. Our education system has a very good facility because we complete our whole syllabus 2 to 3 months before the exam days, and they start doing the revision exams. So that is very good. So many students want to skip these revision exams, but that is a very good practice for your exams. You stick to the time, you practice to complete those syllabus within that time frame, and when you write the exams, you get a lot of practice.
Another thing is, whenever you're writing, when you see the question paper, many people get nervous. Never get nervous with the question paper, because one or two questions you may not be knowing it, or you may be knowing it, but you may not be recollecting it. So try to go with the best answer as first. Sort out the time, how much time you're going to finish it, complete the paper, recheck the questions again. Are you missing out on something or not? Because many a times what these people do is they try to finish out the paper and they don't go back and then check it up. They want to hand it over the paper to the teacher and then get out the class thinking that I'm done the first. That attitude should not be there. Try to sit down, because extra time is always given in our schedule also. They give a little extra time so that the children should be able to complete the paper, recheck the paper. If you have missed out something, again, try to complete it. So never miss out, revise the paper. If you have time, revise the paper also. So you will be able to score better in that.
Just on the day before exam, what do you have to do? So on the day before the exam, like every routine day, you should have your breakfast, be calm, then keep all your needed things for the exam, like if they allow the pad, good amount of pencils, pens, a scale, then your hall ticket. Of course, if you're going for the board exams, you need your hall ticket. You keep your water bottle ready, everything ready before you sleep, so that you don't go on searching for each and everything on the day of the exam. And if you're writing the board exams, it is always advisable for someone to go ahead and see the exam center before only, so that it will not be a last minute rush, because on exam day there will be a traffic jams everywhere. If you don't know where that exam center is, you may end up going there late. This is very important, especially those who are going for competitive exams like NEET or JEE, or any other competitive exams where time matters. They will not allow if that time has crossed.
Yeah. That is very important, because we have seen sometimes they don't know the center and they try to start a little late, and they will not be able to reach that area. And some people have missed it and they cry for the whole year. So that should not be there. That means what Dr. Anita means is proper preparation should be there. Proper checking up with the center is there. Don't forget your hall ticket. Make a tick mark of all the things which you want to carry a day before only, and keep it in one place, a place where the other people should not remove it, because some people in some houses they have of cleaning other places and keep it right, so you don't get surprises in the morning where now not getting your thing and start searching in the morning.
Yes,
so
and if
these
you
are
are into siblings also, you should keep
that's what they might flick it and then they will take it out and you get a surprise not having the thing there. So all these things, proper preparation and this facilitation, the children are very intelligent to learn all these things, provided we teach them and we explain all these things in the beginning only. So other thing very important, what I find, Anita, is Relaxation is very important for the children. Maybe before examination or on the day of the examination, and the motivation. They should have a motivation. Focus on setting realistic goals. Suppose exam is there, you try to study, you complete the portion. If you have missed out something, don't get panicky with that. Don't get disturbed with that, because disturbance and stress make you forget what you have studied. Create a plan properly. Take regular breaks, which we have already discussed about it. Sleep well. Practice mindful techniques, which are also very, very important. Then they should be having a proper muscle relaxation techniques also should be there. Then if you are a little stressed, try to console yourself by positive talks. See that what you have finished, what you have completed, try to revise those things first. Challenges, don't take into the negative challenges. Talk positive about yourself and think positive about yourselves, or contact a positive person who will be helping you out in that time, not a person who are going to depress you and bring down your morale also. So these are the important things where you have to have a relaxation, and self motivation is also very important for the person, because every child studies, every child prepares, every child does the best for his exam. But the only thing is, the difference is sometimes at that time the levels of understanding and levels of concentration, levels of depressions are different in different children. So you try to boost your morale by yourself by keeping some positive notes in front of you, or self-motivational things, or your parents also should be there. Parents should not have any negative aspects during the examination days. Don't scold them on that day of the exam. Then they get depressed and then they spoil the paper and come. So all the positivity has to be there in the house and during exam. This is also very important point, which all the parents and students also have to understand this.
And students can also make a note and charts and flow charts and stick
Yes.
them up to the walls or to the notice boards in their room.
Correct.
That's very important for mathematical formulas and physics formulas, and
Yes.
two things where you have to remember them. There is no alternative for that. You have to remember the formulas to apply. So for all those aspects, you can put those charts and stick onto the wall or to your adjacent to the mirror. So whenever you are moving around, you can just have a glance and that will be registered in your memory. This is a visual memory skill that will be registered into your brain. That will be easy to retrieve.
But last minute discussions while going to the exam near the hall, if you have forgot something, don't try to open the book and then try to read that. That will confuse you more and it'll cause panic at that time. Just be cool. Okay, whatever happens is going to happen. You're not going to, skies are not going to fall on it. And what you have prepared is much more than what you can do it. Definitely people who have forgotten, they have missed one or two questions, still scored the top. So it doesn't make any difference at all. Never get depressed or dejected with that.
It's always advisable to prepare beforehand only. We have seen many cases like one child who was appearing for his NEET exam. Just the day before the exam, he lost his father in an accident. Okay. So that I'm saying NEET, but any exam or any competitive or board exam, if you are prepared beforehand,
yes,
you're going to be prepared in case of adversities also. So this boy was brave enough and he had got lots of family support and emotional support, and everyone encouraged him to go ahead and appear for the exam. And he did that. And of course, he did pass also because he was prepared beforehand. So that last minute adversities or shocks did not affect him. He pulled up himself because of all the familial support and was able to appear for this exam in spite of these adversities. So that is the advantage of prior preparation. So whatever you have studied, that will come back to your revive, and you will be able to perform in the exam, even though you didn't touch anything just before the exam, because everything was there in your memory. You're not going to lose anything.
Yeah. See, our brain is like a computer. Whenever you want to retrieve your memory, you will get it. But provided you should have a proper power supply, you should have a proper energy, you should have a proper nutrition, you should have a proper environment for that. If you don't have a proper power, you don't have a proper this thing, then your brain also will not be helping you, supporting you. So support system has to be proper in your brain as well. I think we should go in for some questions if they have.
Yes. So during the exam day, first go through the entire question paper first. Then whichever answers you find easy, you should be answering them first. Whatever might be the order. Order is not important. As long as you mark the question paper number,
Properly.
question number correctly, it's not going to matter which one you answered first. But first answer all the questions which you are very confident and which you are very easy for you. So someone want to answer. Wait. So after this also gives an impression on the examiner, because initially all the questions you did very well, and later on, even if you write some points, they'll be lenient to give you few extra marks for that. That is the psychological strategy which you have to work on. Okay,
Yeah,
and
but
that
here, Anita, I will add one more point here, because once we are doing a little in orderly fashion, that's a very good suggestion and very good point. Even we do that. But the only thing is, they should mark on the paper also which they have missed out, so that they should not miss out in the end that part. And second thing is, wherever there is, like for example, the geographical part is there, so some formulas are there. Try to put the formulas on that. Try to put, like, India map of India is there, where they are asking for the mountains or for the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, all those deserts and all. So try to draw the map and put it, because once they see the examiner see the question, or the student has given a proper depiction of the drawing, then automatically he will not read that. He will have number of papers to correct. So he says this fellow knows everything, then he gives the marks on that also. That's also one point where you have to, pictorial representation should be there.
Yes, lots of diagrams should be there.
Yes,
Flow
yes.
charts, whenever possible, flow charts should be
Flow
there.
chart should be there.
If they have asked for any differences or comparisons, it should be in the tabular form.
Tabular form.
Tabular
Yes.
form, and all the answers should be point-wise, pointers, not like stories. And then whenever there are like key points, which we call the punch dialogues, the key
Yes.
points should be underlined. There should be proper subheadings also. So even the whatever knowledge we have, the representation also matters in the exams.
And
What
legible.
presenting also.
Handwriting
Yes.
should be legible also, because don't scrap and don't write too big answers
Too big
to impress the
answers.
exams,
So the same question can appear as a short question or a
Yes,
long.
long question.
You have to judge how much you have to write for the short answer and how much you have to
Yes.
write for a long answer, and write appropriate.
And
And
don't,
there are many things during the exams where the person sitting beside you or behind you may be asking for your answer sheets. What will you do then? Okay, so that
answer
is
sheets,
another
or sometimes
question.
they will ask for the tips also. They may
Yes,
forget it.
yes.
They may ask for the tips. Be very careful and try not to do that, because
Yes.
that will spoil your reputation, and you will be caught. You will be sent out of the exam.
Yes, if both
Especially
of
in
you
the board
are
exam.
caught, yes, in the board exams, every invigilator will not be soft.
Yeah.
Okay, there some people may be very strict and they may debar both of you. Even
Yeah.
if it is not your fault, you are helping out that child,
Correct.
but still you may be also at fault.
Yeah.
Okay, even if you want to help, it should be a tiny things which is not going to waste your time.
Correct.
Okay, don't waste your time helping others. First, do your thing. You should be selfish in such aspects. It's
Yes.
your scores. You should be selfish in that. You complete your exam first. Focus on that, and
Yes.
don't panic. There is one more thing. We always panic when the other person is taking lots of additionals. So
Yes.
there, ma'am, one more additional, ma'am, one more additional. So you panic. How come that child is that friend of mine is taking so many answer sheets and I haven't completed even my first or second additional.
Am I missing something?
Yes, yeah.
No.
Yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out something. So
Yeah.
am I not writing enough? No, you need not panic. So some kids, some students, what they do is, so whatever you write in 1/4 of a paper, that they fill up in the entire page. They write so big with so many spaces are a lot. So the content is very little, but they use one whole page for that. So don't panic seeing it others writing, taking up more additionals. Okay, you may be writing better than them. So don't panic looking at others. That is one part. So after completion, you have to check again your hall ticket number, whether you have marked all your question numbers, answer numbers correctly or not, whether you have answered all the questions.
All the questions.
Not.
Yeah, that is
Whenever
important.
you answer that question, you put a tick mark on the question paper
Question
itself,
paper.
so that
Yes.
you know whatever you have completed and what are due.
And read it also, whether sometimes, what happens, you don't try totally at that time. Then you may remember certain points, you can write it later on also. Always try to read the answers before giving it to the invigilator or the examiner.
Yes. So after completion of your exams, there will be outside the exam hall, there will be lots of discussions. Array, I answered this question this way. I put this answer. What did you answer? What did you answer? There will be lots of discussions. Sometimes it will be confusing. You might have written right. The other person may have written wrong, but still they say that it is their right.
Yeah.
So don't get confused and don't overthink it. Whatever is done is done. You have submitted your answer sheets, that is done.
Yeah.
Nothing can be undone about it.
Yeah.
So instead of worrying about that, don't go back home and read the same those textbooks and check your answers. Don't do that.
Correct.
You have another exam after 2 days. You should be focusing on the next exam, not on the exam which is completed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have already sealed your future, sealed your marks in that. So don't spoil the next exam.
And even if you have written wrong, it's okay. It
doesn't matter.
It's not end of the world. It's just an exam. It's a tiny part of your life. It's not your entire life. It's not an end of the world for you. Remember that. Sir, okay. So
we'll take some questions. If somebody has got questions, we'll take the questions. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have got any questions? Please write down.
Krishna Joshi, would you like to say something?
Yes, doctor. Yeah, good evening and thank you for this session. Just request if both of you can suggest any techniques or tips to improve the concentration, or how students, children, they can sit and actually concentrate on a particular topic. Initially, you had suggested some points, they have to be in a single space, there should not be much noise, but anything that they need to focus, because children nowadays, they have a lot of distractions, right? So continuously, I'm not just talking before the exam, but continuously over a period of a year or so up to the exams, how are they able to concentrate and ensure they are reading the right things, and all the things you suggested upfront in this meeting, they can be implemented?
Yeah, here I'll just add. You can also add later, Anita. See, the thing is, most important is what they are studying. As you have mentioned, they have got continuous disturbances throughout. That is in every house, and now the availability of things are also so much. Okay, the children are getting attracted to that also. So the best thing is we have to program ourselves in such a way where the children should know their limits. Children also should know this thing, screen times and other activity time or enjoyment time or incentive time, whatever time is there. And whatever they are studying, they should be made to understand that this is going to be represented, or you can have a trials at home also. The parents also should spend a little time there, because most of the time what happens is parents, they send the children to the school where the child spends only about 6 hours in the school, whereas 18 hours the child spends at home. So we as parents have got more responsibility than the teachers, where we can mold our children, and we are the role models for the children. Whatever we do, suppose we are playing TV and all at home and asking children, you go and study in the room. Better not do that, because they get attracted. The child is always a little sensitive towards these things. So I think that point has to be taken care of.
Yes, this concentrated, keeping them concentrated will be different at different age levels.
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah. Anybody else have got any issues? Please, let's have some questions from the people.
So when they are younger, they need the parents' presence there. You have to be present there. You should not be distracted. You should keep away your gadgets. You should not be engaged in conversations with someone else.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Tell me, please tell.
Actually, I have I want to speak about this. Once, what should I call you? People, doctor or
Doctor.
Can
you identify yourself? Are you a student or a parent?
I'm a student actually.
Good. What's your name?
My name is Brishank.
Okay. Which class?
7th grade.
Good. Very good. Come on, tell me. Yeah.
Actually, the strategies which you're telling, I actually used it on even on my teachers. Actually, for example, yesterday was my maths exam, where you know the trick where if you write like dedicate a section to rough on the side of the paper, they give you a
Correct.
little bit of extra marks.
Yes.
Yes, and some other teachers like SS social studies,
Correct.
if you write lengthy answers, they'll give you more.
Yeah.
But also
Social.
not missing the main points.
Yeah. Yeah.
The strategies which you tell, I actually use, and the things which you told about the parents, they actually my mom told me about that. What do you call
What?
what Dr. Anita just told that actually.
What's that? Yeah.
Remember it. I don't remember it properly, but now you just told you just but now you just told that you should not on the TV while your child is studying, and I was looking at
Yes.
my father.
No, because what happens is children will get attracted or diverted and all. So we should be the role models for them. And once